Hello, welcome everybody. It is now time for the August announcements, believe it or not. And before we get fully started, as you can probably tell by now, this is a pre-recorded broadcast because at this moment I am in St. Louis, Collinsville to be exact. We are at the St. Louis RPM meet this weekend. So if you do get a chance, either today or tomorrow, Saturday, stop on by to the St. Louis RPM. It is an incredible show with a lot of talented modelers, a lot of great stuff to see, and of course, we'll be there. Stop by our booth, and we've got some new items that we know you're going to love. Now, speaking of new items, let's get right into August. By now, some of you already know some of the things that we're going to be offering. So let's go ahead and bring those up. So we promised SD70 Aces again. Union Pacific fans, you have demanded these for quite a while, and we're happy to announce two different paint schemes in the Union Pacific 2009 era as well as the 2019 era. Now, these are Athearn Genesis, and they are available for pre-order until the end of this month. You have till August 24th. Now, we have been getting so many comments on these. We had to bring them back out. You guys have been asking for Union Pacific Heritage Fleet. The first three hit the stores this past early summer, late spring. Now we're offering Union Pacific 1989 Rio Grande, Union Pacific 1995, the Chicago Northwestern, and of course, UP 1996, the Southern Pacific. Now remember, these are based on the repaints that the Union Pacific did. And we're going to talk more about these in an upcoming Train Tuesday. So UP fans, I hope you're satisfied. We had a lot of comments on these, and we're happy to bring these out. I know you guys are excited, and we're more than happy to bring these out for you. Coming up next, we've got the Norfolk Southern. We're offering these in 3 different road numbers. These are going to have PTC antenna roofs. This is based on a 2014 paint scheme. So Norfolk Southern fans, you've been asking for these with PTC antennas. These are a late production series. And again, these are 3 different road numbers within the 1100 series that we're going to be offering. With everything going on with mergers and talks of mergers, we thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and release the Kansas City Southern in the Southern Belle paint scheme. We're offering this locomotive in 3 different road numbers. And hard to resist that really cool Southern Belle paint scheme. It's based on a 2014 paint scheme. Montana Rail Link, soon to be a fallen flag. At the time of this recording, BNSF has slowly made its incursion into Montana Rail Link, and so we wanted to offer these again. These are based on the 2006 era. This is their as-delivered paint scheme with the Worthington Lion logo. These are sharp-looking units. We're offering them in 3 different road numbers, as you can see here. Now, the other big news for this month, well, if you remember, we had asked for some help, and we were overwhelmed with the amount of responses we got. We want to thank everybody that helped the Athearn crew get us the research that we needed to get the new Ferromix paint schemes done. These are brand new paint schemes on Ferromix SD70s. And so we're offering the only 2 that are so far at this date painted in this paint scheme. 4029 and 4053. Now we'll go more into the details and some of the features that these locomotives all have, and that will be in a future Train Tuesday. We'll cover all the Genesis locomotives. Here's another one we were getting a lot of requests for, and that's the EMD SDP40F diesel. These were primarily for Amtrak. They were for Amtrak, which was brand new at the time and was using hand-me-down engines from many um, uh, different railroads throughout the country. These were brand new for them. And we're offering these Amtrak Phase 2 paint in the mid 70s to early 1980s paint scheme. There's three road numbers that you can choose from, or you can add them all to your fleet if you're modeling within that era. Another highly requested paint scheme was this EMD paint scheme. There's only one of these painted. We'll talk more about this unique unit in an upcoming Train Tuesday. Santa Fe was absolutely no stranger to these. Actually, Santa Fe had quite a few of them in their fleet, and we're going to be offering a fleet for you. There's going to be 4 different road numbers in this release for Santa Fe. These are all mid-1980s paint schemes when they received these locomotives. And again, we'll talk about the functions and features of these unique locomotives in an upcoming Train Tuesday. Now, we also wanted to do some legendary liveries. Again, I know a lot of this can be a rather polarizing subject. Some people love these, some people not so much. But nonetheless, we wanted to take a walk on the other side, if you will, to see what would have happened if history had been a little bit different. Now, really, this first one, the BNSF and the Grinston Green paint schemes, really not too far from what could have happened. Having this in the executive paint scheme definitely could have happened. We'll talk more about that in an upcoming Train Tuesday, as well as maybe an extra live. But nonetheless, this never really did exist. But if it had, I think this locomotive would have wore these colors very nicely. For our friends in the southeastern part of the United States, what if the Southern had continued its passenger rail past the Amtrak era? This is kind of answers that question. A beautiful paint scheme. That Southern green is just a beautiful, beautiful paint scheme. This is another legendary liveries of a what if that would have appeared in the 1970s into the 80s. We're offering 2 road numbers for this. So if you wanted to make your legendary livery Southern passenger set, we've given you a start. Now you have until August 26th, it's a Friday, to make any pre-orders of anything that we're talking about right now. As we are talking about this video, if you're watching this live, these are available for pre-order right now. So this is something really new for us, really excited about these. We're offering Athearn HO General Electric C44-9W diesel locomotives. Now, this is the first time that we've offered these with this amount of detail. They're going to have operating ditch lights, and they are sound ready with factory installed speakers. So you're going to have both sound and lighting features depending on the locomotive when you drop in the decoder of your choice. We're offering 2 of the Union Pacific 2005 era -9s. And we're also offering 2 Southern Pacific. These were 1994 era paint schemes. Now, again, these are Athearn HO, so they're going to have road-specific details, not number-specific details like Genesis. But for you guys that are building a layout and you want to grow your fleet quickly, this is the great way to do it. And it also gives you the option of using the decoder of your choice. Coming up next for our friends north of the border, or really anywhere in the United States even now, we've got the Canadian National in their 2000 era paint scheme. Really sharp looking unit. 2 road numbers available for this locomotive. For our BNSF fans, here's the Heritage 2, early 2000s era. Heritage 2s, Dash 9s in the 600 number system. And not to stop there, but we've also decided to offer the BNSF War Bonnet. This is one that's been highly requested of late. We wanted to go ahead and do this. The 700 series, mid 2000s. And a lot of controversy amongst rail fans. Is it really a war bonnet, or some guys call it the BNSF fake bonnet? I will let you decide what you would rather call it, war bonnet or fake bonnet. Whatever you call it, we think it's a beautiful paint scheme, and we're more than happy to offer this. Now, again, these are the first time they're going to be offered with operating ditch lights, and they're sound ready. The speakers are already installed. All you need to do is put in the decoder of your choice. We're getting a lot of interest from our modelers in Australia. We wanted to offer these for you, the Hamsley Iron. We're offering this in 2 road numbers. 1990s era. Now, those are all DCC and sound ready. We'll talk about some of the features, some of the upgrades that these have gone through to maximize your enjoyability with these models. A lot of refinements going on here. Steam era guys, we hear you. We've heard the comments. We've seen the comments. We've heard you at some of the shows. A lot of you guys are asking for us to re-release the 280, and it's part of the Athearn line now. It's going to be nicely detailed, nicely decorated, and something that we haven't really done before. These are available without sound or with sound. 2 different road numbers each for Union Pacific based on an 1890s paint scheme. Check out the Great Northern. 1890s. 2 different road numbers. Again, they're going to be coming with tsunami sound equipped. So they can be available with a sound decoder, or they can just be standard DC. Not to be outdone is the Denver and Rio Grande Western. Really popular paint scheme. Really stands out. 1890s era. Here's that Southern Railroad again. Beautiful green paint scheme. 1890. Again, a lot of you guys are asking for these. It's been a while since we've offered these. We also wanted to do some colorful roads. We wanted to do something a little bit different. Even if you don't model the steam era, you might have an excuse to have a museum on your layout. Maybe run some passenger excursion runs with these. And you're probably wondering, hey, that's great. What about passenger cars? Well, stay tuned. Here's a Virginia and Truckee. 2 road numbers each. Actually, a very popular road. We had a lot of requests for this road. So for you guys that asked for this, you should be pretty happy with this selection. Now, here's something I know a lot of you guys are going to have fun. We're going into the 70s, the 60s, a little bit of everything. This is the 50-foot H scale NACC boxcar. Very common boxcar. This is going to be a very nicely detailed boxcar, but perfect for operators. We're offering them in 3 different road numbers each. The Delaware Hudson, obviously in the 1970s paint scheme. These were seen throughout the parts of Canada and the eastern seaboard, as well as even as far as the Midwest. Here's one that's been requested, the Ham's Beer Car. This is based on an actual prototype image that our researchers found. It's based on a 1960s car. So whether you have a brewery on your layout or you like to collect the different beer cars and accessories, this will be one that you're going to want to add to your collection. 3 different road numbers. Dresser Macabar, 1960s era. rather colorful boxcar, 3 different road numbers. A Lumax, again, 1966 era on up, 3 different road numbers. And for you guys that have been asking for Central New Jersey, here you go. 3 different road numbers based on a 1964 era paint scheme. And then the last one, we had some fun with this. Mid 1960s Penguin Ginger Ale. Like I said, we had some fun with this. This is part of our legendary liveries, but it could be plausible. You know, if you had a beverage distribution center on your layout, this would look perfect in there, along with all those other cars. Staying within the theme of boxcars, we're going to also be offering the Athearn 50-foot HO scale 5077 centered double door boxcars. These are very common, very popular, and for guys that are modeling the 70s into the 80s, you're going to want to add these to your collection. We're offering the Southern Pacific, as you see here, in the 1970s paint scheme, 3 different road numbers. Chessie has been very active lately in the comments. We wanted to offer a Chessie. These are all C&O road numbers, and there's 3 road numbers for the Chessie based on a 1981 paint scheme. Western Pacific, the feather scheme, one of the last paint schemes the Western Pacific would have before its inclusion into the Union Pacific. This is based on a 1970s paint scheme. And here's a popular one, Longview, Portland, and Northern, late 1970s, 3 different road numbers. Guys that are looking for something a little bit newer, looking for the 1990s, we're offering the White City Terminal Railroad and the Amador Central. Both of these will be offered in their 1990s paint scheme, 3 different road numbers each. For guys in the steam era, guys are, that want something a little bit different and something we haven't offered in quite a while, the 40-foot stock car. This is an Athearn HO car, and we've done something fun with these. We're offering them in 2 different singles as well as a multi-pack of 4 cars. So you have the ability to get up to 6 unique road numbers by buying the set and the 2 singles. Up first is the Santa Fe in a 1940s paint scheme. Here's the Chicago Northwestern, again, 1940s paint scheme. Heading out west, we've got the Rio Grande and the Great Northern. The Rio Grande's based on a 1950s paint scheme, while the Great Northern is 1940s. Staying within the 1940s, we've got the Missouri Pacific and the Texas and Pacific. So again, 2 singles and a multi-pack of 4. Perfect for the steam era modelers out there. You're going to want to pick these up. Again, you have until August 26th for your pre-orders. Okay, so earlier we talked about the 280s, and we also thought, hey, it'd be great to have some excursion stuff if we don't model the 1890s, but we are offering matching HO scale Athearn Overland passenger cars. Now we're offering the coach separately, and we're also offering a set. As you can see here, there's a 4-car set. We've got the Union Pacific in that striking 2-tone gray, the Denver Rio Grande and the yellow, Great Northern, Southern Pacific. Again, these are all 1890s, so they'll fit perfectly with the Athearn 280 we talked about earlier. And then last but not least, the Virginia and Truckee. There's been some upgrades on these, and we're going to talk about those in a future Train Tuesday. But this is enough to get you started, hopefully getting you excited about everything that we're offering in August. Staying with the HO theme, we've got some Athearn intercity buses It's been a little bit since we've offered these, a couple of years now. It's always good to offer these again, and we tried to make a really cool range of buses for you. This first one is a teal and cream, kind of an Art Deco paint scheme. We leave it up to you as the modeler to say what city or town that it serves. This is a perfect example for you to decal it up the way that you would like. We've got the Pacific Electric. We've also got the Utah Parks, Park Service bus. And we've got a couple of bands. I don't know if you heard about Cat and the Copycats. They were a hit back in the 50s doing some rockabilly. Well, there's their bus. We'll talk more about that tour that happened in 54 later. We've also got another band on tour. This is called the Voice of Choice. Kind of having some fun with these buses. So that kind of allows you to take these buses into a more newer area, if you like. Not just strictly in the 40s and 50s. You can even bring it all the way up into a modern day theme here. If you look here, we've got a bus for sale, complete with for sale windows, and I believe a phone number in there. I can't quite make that out for the bus for sale. So these are great additions for your layout or your module. And we're also going to offer the really cool looking Fred Harvey bus line. So a little variety this time on the buses. Now for you modern guys, we're going to be offering some 40-foot smooth side containers. This is part of the Athearn HO line. As you can see here, these are going to be packs of 3. We're offering 2 sets of 3. We've got the American President line, the American Mail line, United States line, Sealand, and of course K-line, Mitsu OSK line. 40-foot smooth side. And we got to have chassis. We had a lot of requests in the last month or two for HO scale chassis. So we're offering a 40-foot chassis. And these are going to work out great with those 40-foot containers. American President lines, Flexi Van, Track Intermodal, Genstar, of course K-Line, and the Mitsui OSK lines. So intermodal guys, we got some stuff for you. Now you N-scale guys, if you were feeling left out, take heart, we did listen. We are offering the 50-foot NACC boxcars for you as well, and N-scale. And we're offering the same lines. So the Delaware and Hudson, that's 1970s paint scheme, that cool Hams beer car, 1960s era. These are all available in 3 different road numbers. The Dresser Macrobar, Lumax, Central of New Jersey, and Penguin Ginger Ale. Great lineup just for N-scale. And then last but not least, those buses that we're offering in HO, we're also offering them in the Athearn N-scale. So here you see, just like we talked about earlier, you've got the teal and cream that you can letter up for whatever park or state, city, whatever you want. You've got the teal and cream one just waiting for customization. You have the Pacific Electric, Utah Parks. We got the Cat and the Copycats again, and the Voice of Choice. Rounding out the fleet, we got a bus for sale and the Fred Harvey bus line. So as you can see, August is just packed with new stuff. So what you're going to want to do is anything that we've talked about here today, watch our social media, watch our YouTube channel, Every Tuesday, we come at you at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time with a new Train Tuesday. We'll talk about all of these in more detail. And also stay tuned. From occasionally, we will do an Athearn Extra where we have a special guest come on board and talk about the things that you see here and go in a little bit deeper than what we normally would during the Train Tuesday segments. So you have got until the end of August 26th, actually, to be exact. That's a Friday. So you've got a few weeks yet. These are available for pre-order now. So talk to your dealer if there's anything here that looks like it would strike your fancy. You are watching this, if you're watching this on Friday, the 29th, you've only got a few hours left to make any last minute decisions on the pre-orders for July. And once again, if you are in the St. Louis metro area, be sure to stop into the St. Louis RPM meet. We'd love to meet you, talk to you, and just see all the amazing models that are going to be on display this weekend. There'll be historical societies, folks like you with their models being presented, and of course, manufacturers like us, Athearn, and we'll have a lot of new stuff there for you to see. Now, remember, we'll be coming at you again on Tuesday for Train Tuesday. That'll be at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, I want everybody out there to be happy, be healthy, do some modeling, and above all, high greens, everyone.